Hi guys, I'm Rosie. I'm sorry I'm not wearing anything handmade today, but I've got a lot to show you that is. For those of you that have been in the shop recently, you'll have noticed that we've got a lovely new window display. For those of you that haven't, don't worry, we're going to have a little tour now. I'm going to start with the Esti Co-ord from Trillium the buttons. Joe has used the Palace Blue Geo Viscose fabric for this one. It's lovely and lightweight and drapey. It's an elasticated waist on the trouser and then just a little vest top. We think it'd be great for the beach to bar is what we're saying. It's nice and comfy but also still quite stylish. You know, you can dress it up or down. The wide leg is just really nice and relaxed. Joe's inspiration behind this was a bit of an Art Deco feel, like French Riviera from the 1920s. This one is the Calvin wrap dress from True Bias. It's made in the Sunshine Viscose linen fabric. We love the little tie detail on the waist, and it's such an elegant shape of the bodice. The straps are adjustable, and the viscose linen makes it really nice and drapey and comfortable to wear. This would be great as a daytime dress with trainers or little sandals, but also it transitions into evening quite well as well, and you can even layer it up if it's a bit chilly. Next one is a combination. It's the camber top and the chanterelle trousers. We'll start with the top. It's the camber top from Merchant & Mills in the Robert Kaufman Coral Essex yarn dyed linen. It's just a really classic t-shirt in the woven linen. This coral colour has been really popular over summer, and it'd be a great one for your capsule wardrobe. The linen is just a really nice lightweight fabric to wear. It's good for summer, good for layering, and it's got that nice texture. The trousers are the Chanterelle trousers from So Liberated. We've done the barrel leg version, but there is also a wide leg option or some little shorts as well. It's an elasticated waist, which is just really comfy and relaxed fit. And the barrel leg is like a nice wide, but then it does come in at the bottom with some little tucks. It's got lovely big pockets on the front and on the back. We've made it in the Pacific Blue Enzyme linen. Again, really good for summer, really lightweight and comfortable. You can pair this with sandals, trainers. It's just a regular daytime outfit, and then pop a young power bag in there as well and you're ready to go. This one is the Marcel dress from Chalk and Notch. It's made in the Rust Sorona viscose linen. These linens are just slightly lighter weight than the Enzyme linens. They've got a little bit of stretch to them and a nice bit of drape. Again, lovely and lightweight, really nice for this sort of summer garment. It's a really comfortable dress to wear. It's got really nice tiers all the way down the side, and you can also make it as a top. What I like about this dress is it sits quite high on the bust, so it's really comfortable to wear. A lot of coverage, and the straps are fairly wide, so they're just really comfortable. We've got the young power bags as well, featured in this window. It's a lovely little bag. It's big enough to fit all of your bits and bobs in, but small enough to complement any outfit. We still have the coral and the duck egg colourway left over, so you can make your own. I hope you've enjoyed this tour of the window, and you've got some inspiration to sew your own sunshine. Everything that you've seen is linked below.
Hannah here. This week I'm wearing the Friday Pattern Company Donny shirt again. I'm going to be showing you a selection of our new fabrics that we've had in this week. I'm going to start off with these really lovely cotton double gauzes. So we've got it in 3 different colours. We've got the Tranquil plaid, the Summer plaid, and then the Sunset plaid. They've all got their lovely check design on them with kind of like a plain reverse. So the Tranquil's got some gorgeous kind of cool tones of blues, a bit of cream in there. The Summer's got a lovely grass green. Again, there's a little bit of blue in there and this lovely kind of peachy colour. And then the Sunset, it's probably my favourite one. It's got some lovely kind of orange and yellows in, a little bit pink, just add a little bit more interest. We've picked out a few patterns that we think these gauzes would be really lovely for. First up is the Closet Core Cielo pattern. It comes in either a short sleeve or a long sleeve, but We think the long sleeve would be really lovely with the gauze because it's just that little bit heavier weight. It's going to hold the shape of the sleeve really nicely. Next up is the Made by Ray Trillium dress. Again, there's a few different variations with this. You can do it with little sleeves or sleeveless. You can also do it as a little top version. We think that the summer colourway would be really lovely in this just because it's quite similar to what they've used in their pattern pictures. So you can kind of visualise it already made up, wearing it into the park, to a barbecue would be really nice. Finally, the Jennifer Lauren Handmade Hunter Tank would be really lovely in these as well. The tie detail is especially nice on these. If you didn't want an all over kind of checked pattern all over you in a dress, this would be really lovely if you wanted a little bit something smaller. Next up are the Scattered Sprigs cotton seersuckers. Seersuckers are really nice because they've got a lovely texture to them. You can probably see up close, they've got kind of like a little stripe design in the background almost, on the kind of off-white colour. They do come in 3 different colourways, so we've got the ochre, the rose pink and the powder blue, so there's something for everyone here. For patterns, we've picked out another 3. First, the Merchant Mill Celeste top, which is on mine and Joe's list to make, so I might be picking one of these to make it up in. It's got lovely button detail down the back, so you can probably pick out the colours in the fabrics to match your buttons, which would be really cute. Second is the Friday Pattern Company Donny shirt, which is what I'm wearing today. It's quite a simple shaped top, but with a little pattern on the fabric, it'd add a little bit more interest to it. Finally is the new Tilly and the Buttons Nell dress. I think quite a few of us here want to make this. We really like the little bow details on it. And these puff sleeves would be really good in the seersucker because they've got that little bit more weight to them. It'll hold the puff shape and make them really like summery and cute.
Hi everyone, I'm Becca. So first off, I am not wearing, shock horror, a shirt that I made. I actually got this from the charity shop. It is linen, it was a steal, £5. But I think you could remake it quite nicely in the Jenna shirt pattern. And I also think it goes quite nicely with our window display. Joe did say I could sit on a deck chair in the window if I wanted later, just to tone in for a little bit. Yeah, but you could recreate a similar look like that with an oversized shirt, or and maybe something like one of our Sorona linens or something like that. So we've had a question in from a customer who is sewing a V-neck on a knit jumper. So I've got, thank you Belle, I've got a V-neck t-shirt that we've made here. This one is the Lark t-shirt, and from what I understand, maybe it sounds like she's maybe getting a little tuck at the bottom of the V here. So obviously I don't know which pattern you're sewing, what the method is, because there's quite a few, as we've just been discussing amongst the teams, quite a few methods for sewing a V-neck on a knit. So obviously I'm not sure which one you're using, but when you're sewing a V-neck in general, precision is really, really important. So on your pattern, you've probably got a marking for like exactly where the bottom of the V should be, where that stitching wants to start and finish. So make sure that you've got that marked on your top. And it might be that you need to sort of sew one side of the V up to that point and then sew the other side up to that point. I know some patterns have you do it like that. So when you're doing that, if you are sewing towards the V and sewing one side and then the other, you want to make sure that both sides are finishing at exactly the same point, you know, literally like on top of each other, and that should be at whatever sort of bottom of the V marking you've got on your pattern. So what you could do, if it's still looking a bit iffy, is that you could hand baste it in first, you know, then you've really got control over it, or you could baste it in with your machine first with just some nice long stitches, just so you can get it all really nicely lined up before you go back and stitch again on the machine. So if you saw the sewing bee last week, no spoilers if you haven't seen it yet, don't worry, then you might have seen that Janet got into a little bit of a pickle with her buttonholes and sewing them, and she was struggling a bit with the machine. So we thought we'd just give you a few little tips for sewing buttonholes. So if you're using an automatic buttonhole foot, which Janet was, then sometimes they can struggle if there's quite a lot of thick layers, or maybe something behind the foot that might be stopping it moving. You know, if you've got a seam right behind where the foot is trying to go, you know, they really like to be perfectly flat and that's when they are at the happiest, and they will just do you a perfect buttonhole then. So what can happen sometimes is that if they're hitting something just slightly, then maybe they don't move at the right speed to go forwards and backwards. So it's good to have a few practices on some scraps, because it might be that you need to give the foot just a little bit of gentle encouragement to move the fabric either backwards or forwards, depending. If you can sort of see that it's got stuck and it's not moving, you might just need to just give it a little bit of encouragement, just move that fabric along slightly just to get it moving, so that you can, you know, encourage it to come forward, and then it'll probably just carry on where it was before and finish off the buttonhole. You can also make sure that your seams are really nicely trimmed and graded beforehand before you do a buttonhole. You know, if you're doing something very thick like jeans, then you might want to give those seams a really good hammer. You could hammer them on a chopping board just to try and flatten them as much as possible. But if you are really struggling to get the automatic buttonhole foot to work, then what you could do is do a manual buttonhole. So that's where you draw on your shape first, and then you just use like a little zigzag, well, different size zigzags to sew the buttonhole shape, basically, which is essentially what your machine is doing. You could just do it manually. So we have recently done a reel on that, which we'll link to below if you want to have a look at how to do that. And lastly, if you want to know more about all things buttonholes, then Lauren has a great blog post on them, and we've linked to that below as well.
Thanks for watching. As usual, everything that we've shown in the video is linked below, and if you've got any questions, leave them in the comments below.